Today we are reflecting on this theme of power and the paradox of power. Real power is not based on position or possession or connections, certain people around. But when we truly observe our lives and life in general, and when we observe it with an open mind, we will quickly realize that true power comes from mastering ourselves, mastering our senses, mastering our mind. And then we don't have to demand or bully or manipulate or calculate or oppress. But when we become internally so secure, so filled with wisdom and love, then we will naturally attract the respect and the cooperation from everyone around. And the spiritual perspective on power is exactly that. And no one truly loves bullies. No one truly loves dictators. No one truly loves even those who are demanding and expecting and stubbornly trying to get something or extort something. And paradoxically, in today's world, we seem to think that that is power. But true power comes from a calm mind. True power comes from inner wisdom and dignity. True power comes when we are in control of our own behavior. True power is when we have the power to love and the power to tolerate and the power to discern and the power to decide that what is beneficial for all. And for this power, our training would be to be more reflective of our own behavior, to accumulate wisdom that makes my mind clean and calm, to accumulate that information that helps me be a person with dignity, a person with values and principles, to accumulate that wisdom that makes me understand the more subtle and more lasting dynamics of life. True power comes from knowing the real self and knowing where we have come from, where we are going, and knowing, have an accurate approach and understanding of what this game of human life is all about. And so to be powerful is in your own hands, because all these things you can cultivate within yourself. And of course, the practice of meditation is a beautiful tool in experimenting and experiencing the truth of the self, the beautiful, timeless, imperishable being of consciousness that we innately are. There is this physical dimension, but there is also an invisible and timeless dimension. And this body and this game of human life that we act out It is all part of that physical, visible, tangible dimension. But the player, the invisible player, the invisible actor, the soul, is this timeless spiritual being. And we use this image of light, like a tiny star, a being of consciousness who is non-physical, the one who is creating thoughts, the one who is experiencing that invisible experiencer. That is the real self, the soul. And we have come into this physical world, visiting. We are just passing through. And at the end, we will just leave this body, leave the physical dimension, and go back to that spiritual dimension, that timeless home of stillness, of silence and light, the home of also the Supreme Soul. And to deeply reflect on this, emerge that nature of one who is absolutely secure and in the mood of playing the game of human life. And then, of course, how we play that game will change. We will infuse the human game with those higher qualities of peace and of love, of brotherhood, of compassion. And to be able to live in this awareness and living out these higher qualities, that would be real power. Against the odds, because people may laugh at us, people may scorn us, people may think we are a bit crazy. When we say that real power is not about possessions, is not about position, is not about bullying, is not about all these external connections, but it is when we have power over our own selves. And when we have the power to go against our own negative tendencies and our own lower nature that has been acquired, that has emerged by living in spiritual ignorance over a long period of time, by identifying with what is temporary and perishable, by getting into ego and bondage and dependencies. And so to go against the forces of that lower nature and to, as if gently let go of that lower nature and emerge that nature that is based on security, feeling safe, being free, being in the awareness of being a living light, God-like in essence. That would be real power. And of course, paradoxically, this is not what humanity is even contemplating. Of course, there are the religious traditions who try to point in that direction, and there are all the different spiritual movements. But still, they are very few compared to the large majority. So let us come back to this reflective state and get in touch with that awareness of the true self. Get an experience of a mind that knows the self as a guest, as a living light, one who is in this world but not of this world, one who is just passing through. And so let's take a few minutes and just drop everything that you have been doing so far. Just a few minutes. Don't worry, the world will not finish just because you stop thinking about it. And as if turn your attention on the self and on your inner world, your world of thoughts and feelings. And try and grasp the energy of your mind. Have your thoughts been racing, racing, racing? Is there stress or is there hopelessness or whatever? Or is there a calm, soothing contentment? Just try and observe. And let's now plant that thought and try and see the truth of it. That this word human being has these two parts, human, the body and the human personality, but the being is invisible, experiencer, timeless, consciousness, the soul. And being, that is the real self. Body is just the vehicle. And then there is the part that we play out in this game of human life. But just come back to the essence of who you are. And if it helps you, use this image of tiny star, timeless, living light, free, pure, secure, playful, living light. One who is an observer of the game of human life, an observer of the body. Things in this physical world are entrusted to the soul for a temporary period of time. We have received this body in trust. Others around us, they are entrusted to us for a temporary period of time. They are not mine. And position, possession, all of that is not truly mine either. We don't own anyone here. We have come alone and we will go. And we can't take anything of this physical world. Free. Eternal, immortal, being of light. A being of peace. A being who belongs to the Supreme Soul. In a relationship of friendship, of belonging. An eternal bond. Alike. We just need to remember and emerge that long forgotten memory that is buried deep inside our consciousness. The real self is a beautiful, immortal, peaceful soul. And real power comes from this awareness. And allow the mind to grasp this truth. And if it helps, then it is useful to have this image of tiny star, living light, serene, pure, imperishable being of light. To hold that image in the mind with a deeper sense of this is who I truly am. The body is just a container. Soul is the master of the mind. Soul is the master of the body. Soul is the master of the part that we act out. We don't need to be subservient. We just need to be absolutely clear of who we truly are. And just hold these thoughts in the mind and allow the feelings connected with these thoughts to emerge. Free, pure, timeless, peaceful, lightness. And as we go through the rest of our day and our journey onwards, remind the self that real power is when we are masters over our own self.